Today we are cooking orange chicken with fried rice. Normally we don't actually do two dishes in one video, but we thought we'd try that out today to see if you guys like it really. If you do, you need to comment below. And if not, we'll just carry on just doing the dishes day by day. That's not right, but you know what I mean, don't you?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. The fried rice is white fried rice.
Yes, so straight from the rice cooker, which we normally say don't do. Many places in the States do it straight from the rice cooker, and as this dish does mainly come from Panda Express from the States, we thought it'd be in keeping to do the hot fried rice, because in the UK we do it very differently.
Yes.
So there. We'll get on with this then. So we have some chicken breast that we've chopped up into chunks here, about 3 centimeters by 3 centimeters, but you can have any size you want. If you want smaller, you can. If you want them larger, you can. They're just going to take a bit longer. So that's the chicken breast. Now we're going to go on to making our batter mix. So we're going to put some potato starch in here, roughly 4 heaped tablespoons. Now we're going to add about 2 tablespoons worth of original custard powder. You don't want to use the instant because the instant doesn't work as well. In fact, it doesn't work at all. It goes clumpy and falls off. And why do we use the custard powder, Ma?
To give it some colour.
Yeah, and flavour. So it's got slight eggy flavour. And because it uses vanilla instead of sugar for sweetness, it doesn't burn in the deep fat fryer like sugar would in the coating. I'm going to add about 1/4 teaspoon of salt.
Salt, yes.
Same of
#MSG massive.
There we go. And a very small pinch of
white pepper.
Yeah, so about 1/6 teaspoon. You don't want it too overpowering. And then we're just going to mix this up well. So now we've mixed this, we're just going to get a tablespoon and coat our chicken in that, dry as it is. And the reason we do this is to help the next stage along, isn't it, Ma?
Yeah, to let the butter stick to the chicken.
You want to make sure that's really nicely coated.
Yep.
We're going to add 1 egg white. You can add the whole egg if you want, but the extra oil and fats, well, fats is oil, isn't it? That's a stupid thing to say. The extra oil in the yolk itself will make it difficult, I should say, for the batter to go extra crispy on the outside. Now, a lot of people aren't going to know the difference. You probably do have to have a fairly decent palate to be able to taste the difference. So it's completely up to you. Just whack it all in if you don't want to waste the yolk. But we do actually use yolks for salted yolks. So if you want a video on that, make sure you comment below. And we get a lot of people say, do we not velvet this? Technically, using the egg yolk only is velveting, egg yolk only, egg white only is velveting, because this is quite, what's the word? Alkali, the egg yolk.
Egg white.
Why do I keep saying yolk? The egg, thank you, Ma. The egg white is quite alkaline. So also if you add the egg yolk to that, that's actually acidic, which neutralizes a lot of the alkaline in the egg white, which is another reason why we only use the egg white, because then we don't need to velvet the meat as well. We just use the egg white and that does the job for us. So if you're going to use the whole egg, maybe add a pinch of bicarb.
Wait, the second round?
Yeah, just going to drop it into the batter mix. And then trick, wash that stuff off your hands and make sure they're bone dry, like your fingers are bone dry. Because if you don't do this, if you're doing it in large amounts, so if you're doing more than one portion, or maybe double or 3 times this amount, what happens is the batter ends up sticking to your fingers and you end up with massive lumps at the end of your fingers.
You do not want it. You want the
It's a waste of batter.
batter on the chicken, not on your finger.
Yeah, also it doesn't like to stick to the chicken either. And then you just get a little bit of the batter mix, pull it over your fingers, like that. Like we're going rock climbing. And then come under and then scoop them over.
There you can see the batter is sticking a lot more onto the chicken on the second round.
Yeah, that's because of the egg.
Yeah, of what we have told you.
So we're just gonna cover each one up.
Listen, we only say it once.
Yeah. What's the word? We're coating each one. So then when we think the batter is a good amount on there, we're just gonna squeeze it. That just helps it stay on and gives it a little bit of texture as well. And you want to do that with each piece if you've got the time. If not, doesn't matter, but you will find you get lots of bits floating about in your oil if you don't do it. If you want an extra thick batter, just do it twice. So do the egg and then this phase again. I don't think it's necessary, but some of you are going to like it, so you do you. There we go.
Yeah, we're going to put this in a deep fat fryer.
Yeah, and what oil are we going to be using?
Cooking oil.
Yeah, vegetable oil is what I was going for there. So any neutral flavoured oil you can use. Most takeaways or takeouts going to be using vegetable oil, not peanut oil, because peanut oil is mega expensive and you'd be paying like 4 times the amount for your food than you do already. Vegetable oil, we're just going to cook these to they're piping hot in the middle and crispy on the outside. We're then going to take them out, let them sit for about 20 minutes and refry them, and the second frying process makes them extra crispy, doesn't it, Matt?
Yes.
Yeah, so if you don't do that, you don't have to do that. It is worth doing if you've got the time. If not, it's not a
issue at all.
Yeah, it's not a deal breaker. You're still going to have a good end product.
Yeah.
If you're serious about learning to cook Chinese takeout and Chinese takeaway food at home, maybe think about purchasing our cookbooks. They're only sold on a website, and on there we sell the actual brands the takeaways are using as well. So you can pick that all up in one easy, nice area. Also, the recipe list for this is below, but the method and extra content like Q&As and stuff are for Recipe Vault members. And that link is below as well, and it's only 99p a month for that.
If you have any question, anything you'd like to know, just comment below.
Yeah, thank you. And make sure you like the post because it really helps us as well. Back to the recipe. Right, so we're going to make our fried rice. We've got the chicken done, and that can sit for up to 10-15 minutes there by itself. So we're just going to use 1 egg here. I'm going to add just a pinch of salt. When I say pinch, less than a 1/6 teaspoon. And the same with MSG. Now, the reason why we're adding sodium to that is because we want the cells to make this nice and liquid rather than like a thick, what's the word?
Clumpy.
Paste. Yeah, because then it won't make nice ribbons. So that's what we're looking for that, and that's why we add the egg. Well, whisk away. You want to make sure this is well whisked as well. Beaten, some of you call it. I knew it. I knew it. I was going to get there first, but you just want to make sure that the egg yolk and the egg white is mixed together well. Let's see. Yeah. So we're going to use quite a bit of veg oil here. I'd say there's about 2 tablespoons worth. We want to get this really hot, so we're using the highest heat possible.
High temperature to cook your fried rice.
Yeah.
And your pan or whatever utensil you're using have to be piping hot, really hot.
So there's a common misnomer that you can't get the same heat in a non-stick wok. It's just someone who doesn't understand what's going on. If anything, you can actually retain the heat longer because they're normally thicker on the base. In a carbon steel wok on gas, it's very much like using one of these. It's old dogma that says you have to have carbon steel, because you don't, because there's only as much input and heat that a cooker at home could do. So they're usually up to 3 kilowatts. Whereas if you're on a commercial one, I'd say you're insane if you use this. You'd have to use the carbon steel for sure. But that's because they go to 45 kilowatts. It's nearly 10 times as powerful. So anyway, when the oil is hot, we're going to pour the egg directly into the oil, not the pan, into the oil. I'm going to stir. This is going to create ribbons, and we just want to brown the egg off. Now you go as far as you want in terms of how brown you like the egg. We like to make sure that it is quite brown, and that's how you get a lot of that char wok flavour when you're cooking at home and you don't have the power of a carbon steel commercial wok. It's still fully possible at home, you just have to understand the physics. Okay, so I'm going to turn off the heat just to stop that egg from overcooking, and I'm just going to place some hot rice from the rice cooker into
the pan or wok, whatever you're using.
Yeah. Now, takeaways in the UK aren't doing this, as we said before, but in the US a lot do. In fact, some in the UK do this now, but it's just for time and quickness. We're not going to add light or dark soy to this because it will discolour the egg, and again, many places don't do that anymore. So we're just going to add some salt.
Salt and some MSG.
You're going to need a little bit extra of both because there's no soy. Now, of course, if you want to, you can add it with a little bit of, or hit it with a little bit of light soy just to give a little soy flavour if you want. Might help if I switched it back on. High heat again. So what we're going to do is allow the rice to sit, and that allows it to catch on the base. And again, that's part of that wok flavour you're going to get. This could take up to 15-20 seconds, so don't be too afraid of it. It's quite hard to burn. Because there is no soy, I am going to try it to make sure it's seasoned well enough. It needs a touch more salt. little and often.
Looking very good.
So those of you who are used to making our fried rice at home, you can already see how it moves differently in the pan when it's fresh. It's a bit stodgier. It doesn't quite have the single grain that we are used to in the UK. Doesn't mean it's bad, no, it's just different. So now it's getting near done. I'm just going to throw in some spring onions because we want a little bit of the fresh flavour, but we don't want them to be too strong. So we're just going to throw these in and cook them off for about 15 seconds at most. Now you can separate the grains off if you're willing to keep cooking this, but it's just extra work that no one's doing. And that's done. So we're just going to lay this down on a base. As a base, sorry, not on the base. I suppose it is on the base, but... Okay, so we moved we moved the rice to the side so we can finish this dish off. Let's put some veg oil into a wok. You don't need that much for it. It's on a high heat, but you don't need it hot for this stage. I'm going to throw in some ginger. There's about 5 grams worth of finely chopped, sliced ginger, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm going to add a bit of salt onto the ginger, some MSG, again onto the ginger. When it starts to brown and smells aromatic, we're going to add in some
garlic.
2 large cloves cut. You want to work quick with this because you don't want it to burn. Thank you. When that's nice and cooked, we're going to throw in about 150 millilitres of orange juice, 2 tablespoons.
Like brown sugar?
Yeah. About a tablespoon's worth of ketchup, about 20 mils of white vinegar. Chillies. Now,
optional, is it?
Yeah, these are optional. We say chilli flakes in the original recipe as well, but we prefer the actual massive heat of this all. But you can use chilli flakes instead if you can't handle the hot chilies, or even use a less hot chili. Then we're just going to add a small pinch of salt, and again another small pinch of MSG.
You could actually, if you're cooking it following this recipe, you could actually smell it now at this stage.
Smell what? The sauce?
Yes.
Yes, I think that's obvious. So we're going to reduce this down a little bit by a third. It's not quite a third, but it's nearly there, so I'm going to thicken it up. Just with some potato starch slurry. Potato starch slurry is the best starch to use. It doesn't cook out as easily, and it lasts longer. It's more chemically stable, that's why. The one that's quite thick as well. Adding too much at one time as well because you don't want to make glue, so you add a little and often because you can add, you can't take away.
Yeah, I think a touch more.
Yeah.
It's got the right consistency. Yeah.
And then we're going to add the chicken.
Mix it well.
Now, obviously, you can garnish this with slices of orange. We did that last time, but we're not going to do it this time. And there you have it. Panda Express style, better than Panda Express style orange chicken. There we go, we're just going to dish this out on top of the
rice we previously fried.
Yeah. Now obviously when you're at home you can just whack this on. We've got to try and make it so it looks good for the camera.
Yeah.
So here we go, orange chicken.
Yeah, we just have to try it out for you guys. And we'll let you know.
I'll try some of the sauce first. Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, yes. I think this is one of those things I always forget I really like.
Well,
Because my go-to would normally be Hong Kong style sweet and sour pork.
it's the next level.
If you like ginger,
Yes.
you need to try this.
I must admit the fresh chili bring out the flavour much better. If you haven't had fresh chili, you can use dry chili flake.
You don't even need the chilli.
But because we like chili,
Yeah.
and the ginger and everything, you can just taste it in one mouthful.
So ginger and the orange are working together really well. And then you get like a little bit of a hint of the ketchup that gives like an aromatic flavour through the dish. But the ketchup really does lift it up a note and really does make it far more punchy than it does without it.
Yeah, all these ingredients together married really well.
Yeah, and I actually think normally I do like light soy in my fried rice, at least light soy, but if this had the light soy in, I think it would detract from the flavour
Yeah.
of the actual dish itself. This would be great with battered fish.
Oh, yes.
Oh, especially something quite delicate flavoured. Because it's not going to overpower like something that is delicate flavoured, is it?
Yeah.
You okay there, one?
You guys cook whatever meat you like. You can try with beef as well, because the orange go well with the dark meat as well.
I think try chicken first. But that is fantastic. Anything else you want to mention, Ma?
Hit the like button.
Yeah, if you like this formal video where we did the 2 dishes in one, every now and then, we won't do it every video, but every now and then we do the mixture of the both, so you do get the 2 dishes in one, so you know how to cook at home. Does that make sense?
It does totally make sense to me. If you don't understand, just comment, what are you talking about?
Yeah, just tell
we
me.
will get back to you.
Yeah, just tell me to shut up. Anyway, thanks for watching, Mum.
Happy cooking, happy eating. See you next time.
Take care.